Hi guys, happy weekend. Dr. Zoe here. I I just want to I just finished seeing a patient now, a young girl, and I gave her advice. So I was just entered my car to go. I said to myself, a lot of my young followers would like to hear this counseling I just gave to this young girl, and that brought my topic today. The young girl, she's actually a Caucasian girl. She's going to Mexico to have a BBL, Brazilian butt lift. And she came to me as a doctor and, for counseling. So we had a good 15 minutes talk. And what I said to her, and let me explain my background, guys. Listen, I worked as a senior registrar in breast surgery in St. James's Hospital in Ireland. Like, I was involved in a lot of, it was actually a breast unit. So I was involved in a lot of the complicated cases of BBL. We took out a lot of breast implants that didn't work out well. I know about it firsthand. I was involved in the surgery. I did my surgical residency. That's after I did a family practice. So since coming to Canada, I look after a lot of patients, especially the ones that have complications from this procedure. And I advise this young girl, and I think my audience and my followers would like to hear what my advice to her. As always, please comment respectfully. If you drop anyhow comments, I'll block you. And believe me, I will not remember I don't even know how to unblock you, because as I always say, I'm not here for your money. You don't need it. So my take about BBL, Brazilian butt lift, is, believe me, as a seasoned doctor, as a seasoned man, married man for a long time, BBL is beautiful. Don't get me wrong. If you do it in the right place, it's fantastic. Your clothes will fit differently. It's beautiful. Okay, if done in the right place. But the only thing I have to say as a man now, not as a physician, is if it's not Panadol, it cannot be the same thing as Panadol. That's it. Just know that one. Now, the problem is, if you do it in a very good place, it's very expensive. So I see a lot of my patients, the Caucasian one, they go to Mexico or Turkey and they get it a fraction of the amount they do it in Canada. It's very cheap there. So they do it there, and 1 or 2 days after, maybe to save cost, they're coming back here, they wear that long vest that cover from neck down. And in few cases, they run into trouble because of infection. I usually am the one to treat most of them. I've done it for several years. And this one was interesting because before she goes, she's traveling next week. Oh, no, 2 weeks time. She actually asked me what I think. So that's why I'm saying to her, it's expensive here. I know that. You want to go get it a fraction of the amount in Mexico. That's okay. People go to Nigeria, several places in Africa to do that. I know, and I understand. As I said, if it's your body, I don't discriminate. I don't body shame anyone. It's actually I'm telling you as a doctor, it's actually beautiful if done well, because your clothes will be different. It's fantastic. Just the problem is that infection, because remember, it's foreign body. The body tries to react to anything that is artificial. That's just the nature of human body, And if you have an underlying illness like diabetes and stuff, sometimes you don't know, it becomes worse. I've seen a lot of people, I've treated people. I will tell you what I think people should be doing. I'll talk to you about that. So, it's a trend now. Especially in Nigeria, a lot of young girls are doing it. But the surgeons there are very good, don't get me wrong. Like the surgeons in Nigeria, the surgeons in Turkey, I read about them. They are excellent. The problem is the post-operative care. Some of these surgeons there work in Europe, work in Canada and America. They move from here to go there to do it. I know. But the problem is the post-operative care. I've talked about this for a long time. As I said, I finished the clinic now. She's the last patient I saw, and I'm going to go home. So my take is this, right? As I said, it's a good thing. Another thing I have to drop before I give my advice is this. I have seen patients in the 70s that did BBL and all the implants much earlier. It doesn't look so good when you're old. I'm telling you that because I know, I've seen it. I still have patients today that it just doesn't look too good. And most of them decided to leave it, let it be. They can't take it out. It costs too much money for nothing. And you see people, just doesn't look, I don't know how to explain it, but just doesn't look right. But anyway, that's by the way. As I said, it's your decision. I'm sure they talk to you all those things before you even go for the procedure. My advice to people is this. Yes, you want to do BBL, go ahead and do it. It's fantastic. You're going to look different. But just remember that it's not Panadol, period. End of story. The second thing, I would suggest you go and do routine blood tests. Some places, like in Mexico, I know, because they ask us here, the primary physicians, to do all the blood tests and give to patients. So do it. Because there's a lady I had that had high level sugar. She was not overly diabetic. She wasn't diagnosed before she did it. But because her blood sugar is a bit raised, she got infection. Thankfully, she was treated well, because this is Canada. I mean, she got treated very well. But my suggestion is this, right? Try and do some routine blood tests. Kidney function, liver function, a full blood count, and diabetes screen, and maybe urinalysis before you go. Those things can't tolerate infection at all. That's my advice. And make sure you carry all the results to you, wherever you're going to do it. And the second one, I suggest people take, like this lady now, I suggested to her to take prophylactic antibiotics. That's prevention. Because she's going to Mexico. I mean, she's going to be there for 3-4 days. Take it. And another one, I think, is complicated. So think about some form of clot prevention. You wear your compression socks, maybe even baby aspirin. Discuss that with your surgeon. But that's what I think, especially the prophylactic antibiotics and your routine blood test. So that's my take briefly, guys. As I said, I'll summarize it again. I don't have any problem with BBL. It's actually beautiful procedure, but it's not Panadol. That's all. And if it's not Panadol, it can't be the same thing as Panadol. I'm telling you this as a very seasoned doctor and as a very seasoned man too, which we know. All right, take care and have a good weekend, guys. Dr. Zoe again.